meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. We will move into the University of Land Acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire occupies the sacred and essential lands of indigenous peoples. We honor the land of the Ojibwe and Dakota nations. We will now move on to our student senate military acknowledgement. We acknowledge sacrifices made by those who protect the physical and diplomatic safety of the United States citizens and our employees. We thank military service members for their commitment to our country. We will now move into roll call. As the Senate parliamentarian, willing to call roll.
Yes. Director Kurtler.
Here.
Director Shepard.
Here.
Director Hagan.
Here.
Director Etzler.
Here.
Director Schulte.
Here.
Director Byrne. Director Schaffman.
Here.
Director Berg.
Here.
Coordinator Shrigos.
Here.
Coordinator Claith.
Here.
Senator Borgs.
Here.
Senator Campbell.
Here.
Senator Vernandez Vila. Senator Joel Henry.
Here.
Senator Lee. Senator Servana. Senator Mapes.
Here.
Senator Tower.
Here.
Senator Christ.
Here.
Senator Daniel. Senator Dunlap.
Here.
Senator Phelps.
Here.
Senator Garrison.
Here.
Senator Heverin.
Here.
Senator Harada.
Here.
Senator Miller. Senator Moffett.
Here.
Senator Peckham.
Here.
Senator Yonke. Senator Vollmer.
Here.
Vice President Carter.
Here. We will now move into open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? Seeing none. We will now move into approving the meeting minutes from February 16th. Are there any amendments or corrections to last meeting's minutes? Seeing none, they are approved as sent out. We will now move into the reports. The report from the President has been included in the minutes. We move on to the report from the Vice President. What's up, Blue Bolts? Hope you all are having a great week so far. Last week I spent most of the week recovering and resting in addition to student teaching. On Friday, I was at the vacancy committee meeting, which went over new vacancy questions for the fall, as well as proposed buddy program to integrate new centers into Santa quickly. Looking forward to this week, a batch of my usual check-ins, as well as a batch of some Northwestern information sessions will be making up my week. In addition, I will be in the office on Thursday, and I'll be having some virtual interviews for graduate assistantships. So feel free to stop by, our office is open. And lastly, please take time for yourself during this very busy time of the semester, and don't be afraid to reach out or ask for help. Take care, I do. Are there any questions from that report? Seeing none, the Academic Affairs Commission report has been moved to the minutes, and we will now move on to the report from the Communications Commission with Director Kurtler.
What's up, guys? It was a chilly one out there this morning, so thank you to everyone who was able to stop by and brighten my morning for a bit. This past week in communications, we approved our final form of website revisions, which will be brought to University Marketing this Wednesday. This is a project I've been working on since early January that the Commission has been discussing for multiple weeks, and I'm very excited that it's in the final stages. We also talked a lot this past week about transparency on campus and discussed what we think students would want to know specifically from administration. We will be hosting a town hall event in early April with the Chancellor, where he will present about updates at the administrative level, and students will have the opportunity to ask questions directly to the Chancellor and his executive team. It is my hope that this type of event will help with transparency across campus and help students feel more informed about what goes on campus. More information on that to come later. As always, if you're interested in getting involved with bettering the communication on this campus, I encourage you to come to a communications meeting, which are held on Fridays at 11 a.m. in Davies Chancellor's 311. I hope you all have felt oh so motivated this Monday. I yield.
Are there any questions to that report? Any questions to that report? Seeing none, the Equity Student Council report has been moved to the minutes. We will now move on to the Finance Commission report with Director Shepard.
Hello everyone, I hope you all had a good weekend. This week we will be finalizing our auditing policy provisions in my intern center Dunlap, and I will begin the auditing process for this year. And as always, if you plan on attending Finance Commission meetings and care about how money is being spent, they are on Thursdays at 5 p.m. in the Council of Davies 260. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into the Information Technology Commission report with Director Hagan.
Hello, everybody. This week in ITC, I worked with my advisor to make a list of stakeholders on campus to reach out to who might want to submit innovation budget requests, and talk with a few people I already knew on campus what ideas for the budget. I also looked at the initial responses for our tech survey. We're up to 283 responses in just under a week. I identified some areas for improvement that we at ITC will keep an eye on in the future. Thank you, and I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll now move into the Intergovernmental Affairs report with Director Etzler.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and are off to a great start for the week. This past week in IGA, I, shocker, attended the Chippewa Valley Rally with my new favorite student senators, Senator Harada, Stumo, Nelson, Heparin, and Vollmer. And yes, I have been ranking all of you, so if you want to be higher on the list, I will publicly announce that I can be bribed under the table, of course. Regardless, it was a great day, and I am eternally grateful for those who were able to make it down to Madison with me. I hope it was a beneficial experience, and you continue to advocate both for yourself, but also the Oak Air community. Nothing will ever get done if we don't use our voice, and the Founding Fathers didn't put the First Amendment in the Constitution for funsies. Additionally, while I'm aware that this is very last minute, IGA will be hosting a watch party for the State of the Union tomorrow in Menominee, which is Davies 320F. Pizza will be provided and maybe some dessert if you're lucky. The speech starts at 8 p.m., but feel free to show up a little bit early if you would like to hang out and chat for a bit. I believe we have the room reserved from 7 until 10. The pizza will likely arrive a little before 8 p.m. I'll be sending out an Outlook invite tonight, so please RSVP to that if you're able to attend, so I can get a good count on how much food should be provided and if there are any food allergies we need to accommodate. And for those of you that don't know, the State of the Union is an annual address delivered by the President to a joint session of Congress, i.e. both the House and the Senate, for the purpose of reporting on the nation's current state as well as outlining legislative priorities. Generally, this includes economic, foreign, and domestic policy. I will encourage anyone to attend, even if you don't know much about politics, to hear from the President regarding where the administration is at and what they will be prioritizing. It's a good summary of the current political climate, essentially. Sorry. And who knows, maybe someone will be kicked out again this year for yelling at the President during a speech. It's happened before, it'll probably happen again. Regardless, this week in IGA, we'll start planning the annual spring block party, as well as continuing to discuss our spring election event that will hopefully be hosted the week of March 23rd, though the date and time is to be determined. So if you can make it, we would love to hear your input, and if not, you should totally come to the event when that time comes, and who knows, maybe you'll even go up in my ranking if you do. Thank you, and I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Senator Feltes.
Can non-senators attend the watch party? Yeah, the only reason I'm just bringing it up only in Senate is because I kind of forgot that it was happening this week until Friday, and I fully thought that it was later in March. So if you have friends that want to attend, spread the word, let them know. That's totally fine. Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Does that answer your question? Any other questions for that report? Any other questions? Seeing none, we will now move on to the Student Health and Wellness Report with River Schulte.
Hello, I hope everyone had a restful weekend. Last week in SHW, we did more work with the wellness map and accessibility advocacy. Also, Christy Cruz from the Office of Health Promotion visited us to share what her office does, as well as give general updates. She even stayed after to see how an SHW meeting runs, since she is now an official advisor. Additionally, our first Health and Wellness newsletter came out. If you have not checked it out yet or haven't had a chance to look at it, I encourage you to do so. The first one was definitely a little bit of a learning curve, but I think it turned out great overall. I also had a chance last Wednesday to attend the Amplified Authors Book Club, where we had a great conversation regarding a short story that we all read. That's all from SHW's end. I hope everyone has a great week. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Student Office of Sustainability Commission.
Hello all, SOS has been busy. Last week we passed the SOS and EAC collaboration for the spring semester weekend trips going on right now, being half off for students through the EAC department. We have a presentation from Jordan and Greta from the Plastic-Free Eau Claire, as well as 2 proposal introductions this week. Earlier this morning, I attended a meeting with the City of Eau Claire about our annual Pack It Up and Pass It On event,
happening at the end of this year, May 14th and 15th, so mark your calendars. It's the last 2 days before commencement that Saturday. Having many email conversations about our ecotherapy events in the month of April, where I'm very excited to announce that Chancellor Carney is going to be leading the Tour de Chancellor, a blast from the past event from 2011, where the Chancellor leads a biking tour around Eau Claire. This will be just one of the many events during the month of April. Ending off, I've been working on bylaw edits for SOS, starting to edit transition materials and overall budget housekeeping as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the session. Make sure to take care of yourselves and others. Take care. SOS Sprout. I do.
Are there any questions for my report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Student Organization Commission report. Director Bird.
Hello, party people. Thank you to everyone who's packed out to funny presentations thus far. As a reminder, if you have not yet gotten a chance, we have one more day of presentations. This Tuesday, the 24th, we will be meeting from 3 to 7 p.m. in the Ho-Chunk room on the 3rd floor of Davies, and food will be served yet again. This week at SOC, we will be finalizing our deliberations for all the funding presentations. It is super important that we have people there as we make some difficult cuts. If you are unable to make deliberations but have notes to share from presentations, please email or give them to me so I can take them into consideration when we are deliberating. As a reminder, we will be meeting at 4 p.m. in Little Niagara, which is Davies 211 on Thursday. I hope to see you there, and I yield.
Are there any questions for my report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the University Activities Commission report. Director Bird.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to be back and feeling better this week. This past week has been a whirlwind, from starting the week incredibly ill to facilitating my first larger scale concert. It was truly a blast. I'm truly grateful for the job I have and those in UAC I have the pleasure to work with. In UAC World, our events are slowing down this week because of House of Blue Gold, which you should all go to, but we still have a couple planned. On Wednesday, we have Blues Bingo with the themed craft night in the cabin, 5 to 6:30 p.m. There will be various craft-related prizes like a crochet kit, paints, air-dried clay, embroidery floss, jewelry kits, and buildable wooden flowers. On Thursday, we have our February late-night event called Love Yourself in Hilltop Lounge, 6 to 8 p.m. There you'll be given self-care goodie bags, and you can paint your heart out and build connections with others. Behind the scenes, we are hard at work prepping for a revamped film project to be announced soon, our last festival, Springfest, more special events, mini collaborations, and a concert festival. If you're interested in contributing to our events, sharing ideas, or learning how to plan and facilitate large events, please reach out. All of our committees host weekly meetings, and I'm sure UAC chairs would love to see you all there. The times are posted on my desk on the whiteboard, or if you aren't able to go into the office, let me know and I can send them to you directly. Other than all of that, have a great week. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to special reports, starting first with the NASCAR coordinator, please.
Hey guys, during the past week I've spent most of my time finishing interviews and onboarding some of my new staff. I've also been working with admissions to have Blue appear at the upcoming Eminence Student Days. Shout out to my favorite wingman, Olivia McNally, for helping training all my new staff. Blue's been getting ready to attend some different events this week. First off, we will be attending an important lunch meeting at the Pablo tomorrow with Chancellor Carney and UW System President Jay Rothman from 11 to 1. Pop out to Blues Bingo as well this week, this Wednesday in the cabin from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Besides Senate work, I spent most of my week sitting at my desk watching Team USA take home gold in both women's figure skating and both men's and women's hockey. Sorry to anyone in the office last Thursday who heard me freaking out at my desk when Alyssa Liu won her gold medal. Other than that, I had some questions about this last week when introducing my bill, but I wanted to include this as part of my report. Anyone at the university or in the Eau Claire community is able to request Blue to appear at their events completely for free. The form to request Blue can be found on Blue Connect Plus and on the Student Senate UWEC page. Also, like I said many times, Wingman and Blue Lecture applications are still open. If you have any questions about either of these things, you can find me after the meeting or send me an email. And as always, if you need to reach either me or Blue, you can email me or talk to me at my desk. Thank you, and I yield.
Any questions for that report? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll go on to the report from the housing coordinator. Coordinator Studios.
Good evening, everyone. These past few weeks have been a lot lighter. I haven't had as much on my plate, but I am currently in the planning phase for our annual spring community walkthrough. For those of you who don't know what the spring community walkthrough is, it's an event it presents an opportunity for students and community leaders to work together in assessing the environment surrounding campuses. The event is a chance to walk through student rental areas with university administration, city council members, and local and campus law enforcement to identify any concerns in local neighborhoods. The confirmed date for this is April 8th, which is a Wednesday, and I hope we will share more details with you all in the coming weeks as planning progresses. Thank you, Heidi.
Any questions about the board? Director Byrne?
This might be one of the details that you'll be able to share later, but do you have a time picked out yet?
No, not yet.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions for that report? Any more questions? Seeing none, I will see as we exhausted reports, we'll now move to old business. Starting off first with 69-B-7 in creating a mascot committee. Is there an author will introduce? Coordinator Clay.
Hey guys, again. I know I gave some background on this bill last week, but I thought I'd kind of summarize it again for anyone who wasn't here. During my transition into my role as the mascot coordinator, I noticed that there weren't many forms of support. But this, coupled with some other circumstances related to my role, has made my transition a little more difficult than it should have been. And this bill tries to find and address that. Earlier in this session, we passed 69-B-1, which is a bill about creating a housing committee. The main goal of that committee was to make a group that would assist the housing coordinator with organizing the events that they have throughout the year. While my role isn't required to plan any kind of events, I do have a whole team of staff that need to hire, train, and manage the schedule. In addition to those responsibilities, I'm also required to coordinate those appearances and expand their branding as a student mascot. Thus, I thought it would be fitting for the mascot coordinator to have their own committee as well. Additionally, there was a bill passed in the 63rd session that created a temporary mascot committee aimed at improving the image of the blue gold, but that was sunsetted after that session was over. Unfortunately, there wasn't any specific reasoning as to why it was sunsetted. We just know that it was. The main idea behind this committee is to give the mascot coordinator a group of people who can help with the hiring process of new mascot employees by doing interviews and stuff like that. Additionally, this committee serves as a way to improve branding as a student mascot by combining ideas of multiple groups who all interact with the student body on a daily basis. Attachment A of this bill is basically the text that would be added to our operating policies when this bill is passed in the Senate. Basically, it's an outline of what this committee would do, including stuff like membership and initiatives. And attachment B is the text that would be added to the bylaw in Chapter 16 upon passing of this bill. Within attachment A, there is mention of an event series called Blue Gold Fridays, which will be reoccurring, and something that I want to implement. I discovered this event when looking at my transition materials, and I thought that I'd bring it back. Basically, student senators can walk around with blue during lunchtime on Fridays and give out candy or other merch to students wearing UWEC or Blue Gold merch. This would give senators a good time to speak with the student body about topics including upcoming legislation or things that students would like to see change on campus. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. Thank you, and I yield.
Any questions on the introduction? 69-B-7. Any questions? Director Schulte?
I know like when we did the housing committee that they like tied it to IGA, are you going to be like tied to any or like under any commission?
As it stands, well, at least for the committee itself, it would be chaired by my position. It's not that it's under any commission. I mean, I do report to comms as what's it called? As the housing coordinator reports to IGA, but it's not anything set in stone within my bylaws. There are bylaw revisions here, so that can always change. But for now, I'm not technically required to attend a commission like that.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions from that introduction? Senator Everett. Can somebody please pass the mic?
Okay, sorry if this has been asked already, but I was just wondering, so about the Blue Gold Fridays, do you have kind of like a plan of how you're going to advertise this to students and be like, hey, if you wear like Eau Claire merch, then we'll be able to like do these things for you?
of like advertising, I have like access to the materials that we used in the past to kind of advertise it. So I think my plan is for now to like look at that, probably make something new with it, but then kind of put it up in babies like I had previously with our like with posters like for hiring for like the actors and wingmen. Otherwise, I mean, we have the students send it to other social media pages. Then I have Blue's social media pages as well. So that would be something I also probably advertise on.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any more questions for the introduction? Any more questions for the introduction? Seeing none, we'll now move to a speakers list for 69-P-7. So everybody here for a speakers list. According to If you want to do a speakers list, please leave your name tag placard up and Senator Dunlop will write it on the board.
While I cannot personally vote this bill up, I would if I could. I can definitely relate to this as I did the same thing last semester. I went through this process and I contributed how helpful having access to a committee can be to a coordinator role when we don't really have an advisor and the only people that really check up on us are the directors of the commissions we're tied to, but that's not really like a advisor role, it's more of a person to talk for ideas with. Housing committee hasn't seen a ton of usage so far, but I know I'll definitely be relying on it in the spring for this upcoming event. And knowing the responsibilities and workload of the mascot coordinator, I feel like this committee will be able to greatly assist the role and help with any blue logistics. I yield.
Director Kessler.
Okay, I'll make this really quick because I have to get going soon. I won't be voting this up because I'm not going to be here, but you guys should vote this up because Coordinator Clayton worked really hard on it, and I think it only makes sense if we have the housing coordinator has a committee for the other coordinator that we have to also have a committee to assist them in the work that they do, especially because Coordinator Clayton has been working exceptionally hard since he became I'm so sorry, mascot coordinator just a little while ago. So yeah, I yield.
Coordinator Clay.
Hi guys, I'm sure you're probably sick of hearing from me tonight, but like I said in my introduction tonight, I think having a group of people outside of Senate that will help support my role can be very beneficial to not just myself, but any future mascot coordinators that come into this role after me. You know, when I first joined Senate and got to see the passing of the housing committee, I kind of was under the assumption that coordinators maybe could have like a committee, like each of them could have their own committee as directors have their commissions. And through looking at like the logistics of like what coordinator sure has to go through to kind of develop the housing committee and the uses that it could be for his role. I thought it was something that my role could use as well. And yeah, I will be voting this up. I do.
Director Bird.
I will be voting this up. I think it's a great idea to have a committee designated to our beloved Blue. I really think it would help to integrate Blue, not just within the university, but also into the community too. I yield.
Senator Fulmer.
Thank you for that introduction. I would like to say I'll be voting this up because I saw how hard you were working on this, and I poached you outside of Senate to get my questions answered. And honestly, I think that creating a committee for the mascot could not only just assist the role of the coordinator, but it could also expand the responsibilities of the mascot in general, increase Blue's presence, and make him more of a staple of the university than he already is. I do.
Is there anybody else for the speakers list at this time? Anybody else for the speakers list? Seeing none, we'll move to a placard vote for 69-P-7. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? All those abstained? The vote of 24 to 0 to 1. That bill passes. Seeing as we exhausted old business, we move to new business. There's no new business. And we'll now move into announcements this evening. Are there any announcements for this evening?
Sorry for lying to you guys. 5 minutes ago when I said that I wasn't gonna vote. So, okay, really quick, if you were at the Freedom of Expression event on February 12th, 13th, whenever it was, like 2 weeks ago, if you could just email me like a sentence or two feedback of your experience and what you thought of the event. Phil, our partner at the Menard Center, was just asking for some of that feedback, so just, doesn't have to be that long, just send me a sentence or two, and that would be fantastic. That's all. I yield.
Any questions for that announcement? Seeing none, Coordinator Blake.
Hi guys, so since that bill just passed, I'm going to be looking for people to participate in Blue Fridays. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to get some more information about how that's going to look, like in terms of the timing, that kind of thing. I'll probably, once I talk about it in like another announcement in my report, I'll probably send out an Outlook invite to everybody to kind of just like get that on people's radars. If you have any questions about it, you can talk to me, and yeah, I do.
Any questions for that announcement? Any questions for that announcement? Seeing none, any more announcements this evening? Any more announcements? Without objection to the chair, I have one. Just a reminder here, as we're actually into spring semester, March is next week, and this is kind of a long-term reminder that elections are coming up. Long time away. But in about 6 or so weeks, at the end of March, our petitions will be opening up. I'm not going to go into full details of what elections look like now, but for those of you who are interested, either looking at what a director position will look like, my role of vice president or president, or looking at just becoming a senator again. Now's a great time to start thinking about that and asking questions. So for those of you who are interested in maybe looking at what a directorship will look like next year, don't be afraid to ask the current directors what that looks like. They would love to talk about it, what that really means. And if you're interested in one of mine or President Hebron's roles, come talk to us as well. We'd love to come talk about what this role really means, what the responsibilities are. So our emails, our doors, our spiritual doors are open to the office, even though I'm never here. But don't be afraid to ask questions. When we get closer, I'll give more details on the dates and what that looks like. But I thought we are getting close to March, which is kind of when things speed up here. So elections are something that happens in the later half of the semester. Any questions for that announcement? Seeing none, any more announcements? Director Shepherd.
Sorry, that just reminded me of this. If anyone is looking to get more involved on campus or is looking for a job, the Residence Hall Association is also hiring. Applications will be open until March 13th. So if you want to learn more about that, you can either talk to me or Senator Lee. Yeah, I do.
Any questions for that announcement? Any questions? Seeing anyway, any more final announcements? I think it's so close to it. Any more announcements? All right, seeing none, I will turn this meeting at 6:30 p.m.